Hello everyone, my name is Eric and today I'll be presenting my research results on the evaluation of disparities of AI usage policies through different CS courses at the U of M. So the introduction to the problem is as follows. AI usage policies do not have a set of rules that are properly defined in computer science courses at the U of M. As a result, students may often feel that it is impossible to find these answers, meaning that they would either unknowingly break these policies or avoid AI entirely, even though the course might allow it. So research has been conducted with the hope of solving this issue, and it's found that the respondents' confidence and their year is in a negative correlation, and students do not view the disclosure policy itself as helpful for educational purposes. So the primary results were gathered in this research through a questionnaire-styled survey that was conducted for a total of 19 people, waiting in line at office hours and in CS-designated courses. The questionnaire was split into two sections. The first asking about how the respondents gathered information regarding AI policies in their courses, while the second part towards the AI usage disclosure policy itself. The secondary research, which aids the primary research, were gathered through both a collection of past course syllabi in order to see from a real perspective of a student, as well as a list of major credible sources that are filtered through both authenticity of the report, as well as if terms such as AI fear and survey were in the report itself for relevance sake. And these reports had to be no older than from late 2022, or else before that time, AI was not really a thing. Representation of the year can be seen in this first slide for the results, which show that the years are grouped by freshmen, sophomore, and juniors and seniors, as well as subgroups existing in each of these groups by their coding experience. So the average respondents of AI uncertainty in the courses is the first major question in the first section of the questionnaire. As you can see, the freshmen have the highest average, meanwhile the juniors and seniors having the lowest average. The respondents' proneness to AI avoidance, regardless of if the course actually allows AI itself, is the second major question. As you can see, once again, the freshman and sophomore have a much higher average, as well as less variety than juniors and seniors. Finally, is the second section, and the most relevant question is picked to be this one, which is their comfortability with the AI use disclosure policy. As you can see, all three groups have pretty a pretty high answer, meaning they often feel pretty comfortable with how the AI use disclosure policy itself. So the analysis of the results show that juniors and seniors often have the most opinion towards feeling the most unfairness. And this could be because of, as time goes on, they find themselves in more and more unfair situations, and this is unfortunately unpreventable. And this is also aided because in online sources from USC Today shows that students often feel pressure and fear from participating in group projects where their group mates might use AI either unknowingly or knowingly in order to basically get ahead for the project, unfortunately sacrificing the group as a whole. And it could be argued that the students who actually use AI in these group projects might also not know if AI was even allowed in the group project itself. So the second part of the questionnaire is about the disclosure policy, and from the results, it is shown that a mix of respondents found it very easy to bypass the disclosure policy, as that question's answers were, on average, were very high. And it is supported because a recent survey from Inside Higher Education states that around 85% of students actually indicated they've used some AI work for coursework in the last year. And with such a high amount, is very plausible that a lot of these students have actually bypassed disclosure policy and ignored it entirely, thereby breaching the policy as a result. And this is also supported because students often feel like the disclosure policy does not benefit their learning at all because this question had the lowest average. If you remember from the last slide for the results, it also shows that the students often feel very comfortable with this policy, though you can interpret it more as they find it easy to just ignore the thing and just and often feel comfortable because of how easy it is actually to bypass it. Finally, are the steps that should be taken? From the results section, it is shown that although heavy costing infrastructure as a end all be all is not needed, there should still be actions for students who are in the, especially in the juniors and senior section, where as time goes on, they find themselves into more and more unfair situations where AI policies are not properly defined. So there should be a fail-safe system, such as an online database in which professors should input in their own coursework as well as label it under categories such as homework, test self-study, etc. In terms of if AI is allowed, for example, they could just say no homework label to tell students who can now finally find these proper set of rules. These are my citations. Thank you very much for your time.